Welcome to Here to Initiate, a podcast for manifestors, leaning on the concept of human design. We manifestors are 9% of the population, here to initiate, and it is time for us to rise. In this podcast, I, your host, Julia, want to bring a missing link to the marketplace. Having been a mentor and coach since 2018 and learning more and more about being a manifestor myself, I now, with this podcast, want to specifically support manifestors. With my brand Luxury Goddess, which is all about female remembrance, embodiment, and empowerment, I have served thousands of women already, and I now want to specifically support manifestors as well. I invite you to fully step into your peaceful, powerful self as a manifestor. Let's become who we came here to be, shall we? Happy welcome to this new episode, dear manifestor. This episode is going to be a little bit more personal. I also want to inform you about a few things. And as I share my personal experiences of the last week or two, I'm also offering a few thoughts for you in this realm. And so it's going to be, if anything, about the topic the urges of the manifestor. So first of all, I want to say sorry that there was no episode on Sunday. If you were looking forward to that and already expected it and were a bit sad or had any sort of feeling, I just want to apologize, because I do love accountability, clarity, and, informing you and always letting you know. So I'm sorry I didn't do that, and I will let you know right now that I'm going to give you a new episode every second Sunday from this point on. So you're receiving this Sunday with a break of a week, and this will now happen regularly. So every second Sunday, there's going to be a new episode for you. So stretch it out just a little bit and honor the work I'm putting into everything I do, as I am going to start a new podcast. I have, as you know or not know, the Woman's Legacy podcast show. I just recorded the last episode, and I'm starting a new one that will come out every Tuesday, and it's going to be called Dismantling History, Where Truth Lies. And I want to talk about all the things that I see in this world as a possible narrative, and just want to question everything together with you or whoever wants to listen, whoever I do it for. And it's honestly honoring my manifestors. So it just goes so much in hand with our space here and the idea of this podcast, because I've asked myself in the past month, how am I living my manifestor being right now? And, started this podcast here and the Women's Legacy podcast show. And I'm getting feedback here. I'm noticing a few of you are really liking this and it's serving you. And I'm also feeling inside my body, like, we're doing this, we're continuing. I think this is good, and we'll see over time if this really serves you and others. So let me know if you listen, so I know that it serves. I'll continue to do it anyway, right? Manifestor style, however long I feel to. But I do feel the commitment if you are there too, and it serves you, of course, right? I want to make sure I honor my time and my energy as well, and it's actually serving people what I do. I wouldn't put my energy into something that isn't serving people, only if it makes me so happy to do it. It just makes me completely fill up my, self-care tank, love tank, however you want to say, that I would do it. But honestly, I then could just dance and do a cacao ceremony and spend time with my partner and my friends, I do love to creatively express, but I also want to make sure that it serves you too then, right? So yes, give me a feedback. And I noticed that the Women's Legacy podcast show didn't really get the feedback, and it's okay. We're manifestors. If we feel it, we're doing it, right? We don't need the feedback. We don't need people to react. So if you feel the clarity and the urge, right, depending on your authority again, If you feel the clarity, you do it. So for me, I went through the emotional waves of, wanting to do the podcast, felt it clearly. I felt clearly I wanted to do it. I felt clearly I wanted to do a separate one. The manifestor one clearly wanted to be its own. And I feel that continually and continuing to do so too. But I felt it to be its own podcast and I wanted to do it. I felt the clarity, so I went for it. And the fire doesn't go away when there is no reaction. It does not go away. And that is important for us. If you have an urge and you have the clarity to do it, your fire doesn't go away when people don't celebrate you. That is conditioning. Because if you're clear that you're wanting to do something, you do it because it's clear in your body. And you do it out of self-expression and how do you say, like this word, like Selbstwirksamkeit, it's in German. It's like this, I feel myself being creative and self-expressing, and therefore I am here, and therefore I am being a human with my creative force and using that in a way that feels true right now and clear in my body. And that in and of itself should be fulfilling and give you the peace and should help you to stay in the alignment of peace. We're only going to be yearning for validation or feedback if there's all this conditioning and we feel only peaceful or worthy if others give us that validation. But really, when we as manifestors have a clarity to do something and we do it, we don't need the feedback. It has its reason anyways. We can understand it. It'll reveal itself right now or later. It doesn't matter. But there is a reasoning to it. May it be us experiencing the creation that brings us into the next urge. It can be as subtle as that. But even doing the thing, saying the thing, being, whatever comes out of your urge and clarity will bring you to your next cycle and your next cycle. So it's really important for you as the one you chose to be on earth and you came here to be. So that's just something I wanted to share with you from my own experience this week and too. And I really felt it clear in my body. Oh my gosh, I want to share how I see this world, questioning history, questioning a lot of things and a lot of narratives, especially in a time where you're being called all the things, where it can feel scary to share these things, where you're being judged so quickly. And yet I feel it clearly in my body, and I feel all of a sudden, yes, I am a manifestor. I am here to go about new path. I am here to do things that people aren't doing, and I do not see women questioning history. I do not see a woman talking about so-called conspiracies or conspiracy anchored in love, or even talking about it. But especially anchored in love, without judging anyone, without thinking I'm enlightened, without wanting you to believe this, without thinking you are dumb or I am dumb or anyone is dumb. Just opening a space to stretch our minds, to question everything so that we can have a new way of finding our real truth. Because if we're only moving inside a box, there is no real truth, just the truth of the box, but it's a very limited space. But what is true if we open up to any and every kind of conversation and thought and possibility? Then we end the suppression of the feminine, the suppression of any kind of thought, energy, belief, and open up to everything. And there we have the free feminine, the liberated feminine, everything. And all of a sudden last week I felt it in my body. Yes, that's who I am right now. That's who I came here to be right now. I am a manifestor. I am here to go about new ways, to talk about something no one's talking about yet. Or at least not in this way. I don't know anyone about, right? Maybe there is. That'd be great again, right? Just like with the Manifestor podcast. Where I found out there's another podcast. That's perfect. That's amazing, right? I'm not sad if there's more people. The contrary is the case. I think it's amazing. But especially for us as manifestors, I feel What is your perspective? What is no one talking about? What is no one doing? Or what is your unique perspective? So that we really open a new paradigm, open a new way, open a new path. And often the pain in that is that more than less people say, oh my gosh, this is so weird. This is so crazy. You're so weird, right? But I personally believe when I will now start this podcast, and I mean, you can see it if you want to, I think people will be very grateful. I think there isn't a space yet. And so it gives people a space. It gives people a voice. And so I think people will like it. I think they will be grateful. But, I'm open for anything, as I'm not doing it for the reaction of people. I'm doing it as a manifester, honoring my urge and the clarity of the next cycle. So I'm pumped. I'm full of energy. I feel free. I feel powerful inside my body. Not more powerful than anyone else, just in my body. I feel healthy. I feel peaceful. And then I know, yes, that's it. I don't feel scared. I don't feel angry. I don't feel like I want people to validate me. I just feel peaceful. And that is what an urge should feel like. Even though there's a little bit of, or excitement or nervousness or fear or something. Oh my gosh, I haven't done it yet, right? It's a new thing. But the more you move it, especially as an emotional authority, there's just peace. There's just, I'm doing this. It's true for me. It's right. And so I'm doing it. And so I can't wait. I'm so happy. That's what I wanted to share with you. I hope you could, take a few pieces out for you to feel into your next urge or your current urge, to feel the peace in it, the clarity for you, the conditioning of wanting validation or feedback in the outside, and knowing it doesn't mean that when we initiate, people are all celebrating us. That's what we want in the ego, but that's the ego. When you're initiating, you're initiating because you had the urge, because you acted on the clarity, and because you felt peace when you had that clarity, and because then you went about informing. That's it. The initiation is complete there. There should be peace. If there's not, the ego was in the way, and the conditioning of the ego was in the way, that wants validation, that wants to feel worthy, that wants to have the feedback, that wants to be celebrated, that wants to have something in return. But that is conditioning. And so we really want to look there, because if we have that process that I just described with peace in the end, we are really opening a new paradigm. We are the peaceful queens that lead this humanity into a new peaceful paradigm. And so I invite you to deepen this. I invite you to explore this. I can't wait to get you the next episode in exactly 2 weeks. I'm wishing you so much strength and to allow your power and your force in this urge. And I never would think you're weird. I know that you're just like me, like we're crazy and weird in the best way. It's so good. It's so good. Allow that. People are so traumatized and so normal as the result of conditioning. It's good to be crazy. It's good to be weird. It's good to be different. It means we're alive. It means we're allowing the feminine force. It means we're stopping the suppression. It means we're being manifestors. And it means we're being who we came here to be. So let's allow that. Let's deepen it. Be proud of it. Be happy about it. If you're anything like me, you'll feel this force inside of your body. You'll be like, oh, I feel so powerful. It feels good. Yes. I'm allowing it. I'm not stopping it anymore. I'm not suppressing it anymore. This is who I came here to be. I'm owning it. Because the biggest lie and also the biggest confusion is that we abuse ourselves and suppress ourselves in saying we're wrong in this way and we shouldn't. But that's not true. Whatever flows through you wants to move through you, wants to express through you. What is a true way for you? So own that weirdness, that being different. Be proud, feel the force, feel the energy, feel the vitality, and go about it. Because we're here to build a new world. Like, we're not fucking around. We're here to really do this thing. and to really build something new, to see something new, to co-create a new world. We know as manifestors, we can do this quickly. We're so fast. As I said, I think in the last episode, right? Like we're really bending the time. We're on our own timeline. So let's do it. Let's go about it. Have fun. Do it your way. And I'll catch you in the next episode. This was today's episode for you as a manifestor in the concept of human design. I hope this episode and whole podcast serves you. And if it does, I invite you to leave a 5-star review on iTunes or rank the podcast 5 stars on whatever platform you listened. And or subscribe, comment, or share, whatever feels right to you. So we can spread this for all manifestors to hear and rise as one. Thank you from one manifestor to another. I deeply appreciate you rising, and I look forward to catch you next time. Always remember, you are here to feel peaceful. You are here to initiate. Remember to always inform peacefully. You are so powerful. I see you. You've got this. From one manifestor to another, yours, Julia.